think you know how Olivia, it's like in real estate, it's a buyer or seller's market and it changes. And so
Ooh.
do you think that I know growing up, and I'm older than everybody on this call. Yeah, I've seen you already. But I I know growing up it was like I was taught, it was really pounded into my head by my parents. They're like, you get a job, you do what they tell you, you don't ever ask for a raise, show up on time, like exceed expected. Like it was all about the company's in charge. You never
and
ask for an
and
inch.
and that job is your job for the rest of your life.
100%.
Yeah.
And you
Yep.
just roll with it. You can get gut punched, doesn't matter. You do whatever you can. Okay.
Hmm.
So obviously, enculturated rituals and history are saying it's the company's market, they dictate terms. Now, do you think that, have you noticed that it's more of a what we would call the employees market or candidates market, and is it going to stay that way, or was it a is it, and then when you throw around recession, all of a sudden people are like, okay, I'll do whatever you want because it's a
Hmm.
recession, or
Hmm.
is it going to stay a candidates market where candidate can ask for what you're saying, like, hey, I want you to work with me on my schedule and hybrid and X, Y, and Z. So what do you think? Do you think that more companies have in your 7 years have started to, be more flexible in their terms and meet people, and candidates have more power, or do you think that it's shifting now and it's just this is the new normal? Or it's going to be a candidates market?
Or has it changed at all? I
How
guess
does it
that's the
change at all?
yeah.
Is
Has
it
it?
still a companies and
Uh-huh.
companies dictate terms?
I think about this pretty regularly.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure.
what I would say is the idea of companies having all of the power is newer in the sense of that didn't always used to be that way. I go back to maybe the 30s and 40s and 50s when unions were more prominent.
Hmm.
It used to be not so one or the other on the scales. It used to be more equal.
Got it.
And I think the experience that the pandemic has brought on has kind of awakened many people to say, hey, wait a second, I have more agency than I was told I
Hmm.
have.
Hmm.
And people are exercising that now. And one, to answer your direct question, it's absolutely a job seekers market.
Okay.
And adapt or die comes to mind for companies. You adapt or you die, just to be very blunt.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, but as this is kind of changing and people are trying out new ideas and, starting their own businesses to be able to meet their own values and their needs, I think that's going to continue. I can see many predictions about the gig economy becoming more prominent and companies seeking out experts or specialists as opposed to having one person internally being more of a generalist and more of the breadth as opposed to the depth.
Hmm.
I can see more segmentation of businesses maybe coming out as well as the gig market continues to grow, especially with the large layoffs through the tech economy or the tech industry. That's been really hard to see because it makes me think, if we were focused more on people as employees having more of an equal partnership with companies as opposed to companies having that power and then exercising it onto the employees, what are some creative ideas that the companies could have had from their own employees if they had asked?
Hmm.
And how could we have maybe saved some of those positions or retooled roles or skill sets of individual current employees to help the company survive? And I think that goes back to, being in a capitalistic society and having companies focus on profits. Fair enough, you need profits to survive, but how much do you need? And how much of that is directly tied to the people you already employ?
Hmm.
So I could go off on a tangent there, but I think I'm
Same.
kind of dancing around your question a little bit. But yeah, and I think, employees are, they're unwilling to be used, maybe is not the right word, but they're not willing to be seen as just a resource anymore. They're
Yeah.
wanting to be seen as people.
Hmm.
I find that is a really healthy transition personally, and I'm hopeful that the balance between employees or candidates having the power and companies having the power is more equal because I think it ends up being a better outcome for everyone.
Hmm. Hmm.
I like it. I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
that's great.
Right on, go team.
Let's make it happen. Let's change the world now.
Right?